gotta remember to get the whole camera. Whose glasses dropped?
Mine. Grandma's 70th birthday. I hold everything. 7 days.
And here I want to present to you the graduating class of Mazer Elementary, the 6th grade. Don't they look great? Parents, students, we'd like to welcome you to our graduation ceremony. We'd like to extend a special thanks this time to Mrs. Orr and Mrs. Aquina and Mrs. O'Connor, who have planned and carried out this ceremony. Would you give them a round of applause? And Mrs. Manu as well created some of the decorations for the group. Getting started today, we are going to have a slide presentation. And as I understand, the 6th grade is going to come and sit down for that. So 6th grade, if you will come and sit down, and then we'll have a slide presentation presented by the board channel.
Problem at the beginning is at the end of the summer,
Someone shows some kindness. Someone gives their time. Someone helps our neighbor see us shine. Someone proves our brother as he falls behind. Someone shares his burden. See us shine. See us shining everywhere. Every color, every kind. I'm the dawning of a brighter day. Go lead the way and see us shine. Someone says I'm sorry. Someone knows it's time. Time for some forgiveness. See us shining everywhere. Hope is in our hearts and minds. They're reminding us it's no surprise. Love's everywhere, just see us shine. And it doesn't matter where you are, someone will be shining. There's a method in the madness, from the madness, see us someone's there to catch them. See us shining everywhere, every color, every kind. At the dawning of a brighter age, oh, lead the way and see us shine.
kindergarten.
She looks so cute there.
I know sometimes it's hard to choose, but the friend who lets you see where your choices will lead is the kind of friend you never want to lose. Is that friend who leads with love, doesn't push, doesn't shove, just reminds you of the truth you've always known, and does more than just talk, takes your hand and starts to walk by your side along the road that leads back home. And this friend seems to see all the great things will be, even when some things you do would prove him wrong. But he always believes that the real you he sees is the champion he's simply cheering on. And the love that you feel from a friend that is real is more powerful than anything on earth. For it lives and it grows and it strengthens and glows. It's what allows a soul to feel just what they're worth. So many lives are changed by knowing that your love and keep growing, and never has to end. Forever friends, and war has to find one true friend is the kind you can count on for forever and a day. Be that friend, be that kind that you prayed you might find, and you'll always have best friend on one day.
to just take a minute and thank the teachers of these children. We have Mrs. Bringhurst, if you'd stand up, please, and Mrs. Taylor and Mrs. Nickel, and they've done a great job. And we're going to hear from them now. First Mrs. Bringhurst, then Mrs. Taylor, then Mrs. Nickel.
We're going to take a little time to recognize the kids for some of the accomplishments that they've done throughout the year. The first thing that I'm going to cover, and if I mention an award or an accomplishment, if you guys could stand and be recognized if you fall under that category. The first thing is reflections, and we're always really impressed with our kids that take part in reflections because it is an extracurricular thing, and they do it on their own time. And so any of you that participated in reflections this year, would you please stand? Just pause for them. There's another extracurricular activity that the kids have the opportunity to take part in, that's Odyssey of the Mind. It's a program for the kids to get involved in after school to solve big problems, to put on skits, things like that, and they actually go and they compete. If you took part in Odyssey of the Mind this year, would you please stand? We have a great program in 6th grade helping the kids to stay off drugs, and that's the DARE program. All those of you that graduated from the DARE program, please stand. During the DARE program, each student is responsible to complete an essay of how they plan to lead a good life and stay drug-free. And we had some winners of the DARE essay contest. Those of you that won the DARE essay contest, would you please stand? Also, about October, we have Red Ribbon Week, which is also a staying drug-free week. And we had an opportunity to compete in an essay contest at that time too. We had winners of essay contests during that week. If you were one of those winners during Red Ribbon Week, will you please stand? Okay, now I'm supposed to take a few minutes and reflect on the year, fun things that have gone on, scary things that have gone on. The first thing I think of when I think of this year is how fast it's gone by. It always amazes me when we come to the end of another year. This has been a really good group of kids overall. They've been a lot of fun. I would say that my class is probably one of the most talkative I've had so far. I think we're still working on raising our hands when we talk, right? Yeah, every year we have our struggles. This year's struggles were nothing to stress about. In fact, one of them was swinging outside. Now, swinging outside isn't a problem until they decide to spin each other around, around, around on the tire swing so fast that they come in, sick to their stomachs, and ready to lose their lunch. In fact, I think Tynan spent half of an afternoon on my couch moaning and groaning. Another problem we've had deals with our girls. In my class, they decided they had this overpowering desire to run around and kick boys in the shins. And they can kick hard, can't they, boys? In fact, this was such a problem that it inspired about 5 of my boys to write their survival guides on this issue. And Reuben decided he would invent tough jeans to withstand the blows. But I don't know, if as much as the boys teased the girls, I think they secretly enjoyed it. They could deal with the sore shins. Another invention comes back from the very beginning of the year, the first writing assignment we had to complete. It was creating an advertisement for something that the kids would thought that they could sell. And Kevin decides that he would design a girl tree. It had big branches, and off of the branches hung various types of girls. I guess you could pluck one off when you needed a date, or... I'll never forget that, Kevin. Oh yes, another thing about Kevin. When we had our college volunteers come in to excite and teach the kids about college, he wanted it to be known that he wanted to go to a large university where he could meet lots of girls. I had my share of enthusiastic kids this year too. I had Elliot, who would get up and do a crazy dance in front of anyone who was willing to watch. We discovered that Brock does a perfect pirouette. Annie has so much energy that she could be considered our 6th grade cheerleading section. She kept us going during our basketball and kickball games. Then there's Larissa, who is so full of ideas that she talks a mile a minute. I remember making graham cracker houses in December. Noelle made a picture-perfect fairy tale house. Then there was Jeremy and Ramon that thought the one with the most candy wins. One thing that made this year really different was I spent the majority of it being pregnant. And they were great to help me out, especially my math class when I suddenly lost my brains and couldn't remember how to do even the simplest things. Lupe was especially helpful when I could no longer bend over and pick things up. And when I left for my maternity leave, I started off with a sub that quite scared the class. They told me he was like a drill sergeant and made them run around and run the maze a mile a lot. Stories grow worse every time I hear them. But they were so thankful when he was replaced by Mrs. Stosich. They really enjoyed her. She said that they were such angels the first day they hardly said a word. I think that they were just glad she was there. When I came back, they gave me a baby blanket and some burp rags that they had crocheted around. And it was really impressive to me that 6th graders would take the time to learn to crochet. I can't even crochet myself. And every time I hold my son or burp him and he barks on the rags, I think of you guys and the hard work you put into it. I've been really lucky this year to have really helpful parents. I think this is the year that I've had the most parent involvement in making fun parties and activities for the kids to take part in. They've learned to play chess, the violin, and they actually are willing to play chess during recess while everyone else is playing. Isn't that neat? And I hope that you guys will remember most the things you learned in DARE. Because as you go into junior high, this is a time in your life when you're going to be experimenting a lot, enjoying a lot of new and variety of things. And I hope you remember not to waste your time and your life with things you know that are only going to cause you trouble. Remember to have a phase attitude, be positive, have a good attitude, and people will enjoy being around you. Think of those in our class that you love to be around. They're not the ones that mope about and think life is so the pits. They're the ones that are energetic and fun and looking at the positive ways of life. Remember to put on a pair of crazy glasses for me and play and sing along with the 3-string attitude ukulele. My class knows what I'm talking about. Let's see. I want you guys all to know that now that I've taught you, I carry a little piece of each of you with me. And you carry a little piece of me. We've influenced each other whether we wanted to or not. And I hope that when you come in contact with new people throughout your life that you'll remember to be your best self. And then, of course, I can't finish without quoting one of my favorites, and that's Dr. Seuss. And will you succeed? Yes, you will indeed. 98 3/4% guaranteed. Kids, you'll move mountains. So, be your name Boxman or Bixby or Bray or Workaday Valley Van Allen O'Shea. You're off to great places Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting. So get on your way. Thanks, guys.
As I sat there and watched the pictures flash by when they were tiny, and I had a mother standing by me that shed a few tears. As teachers, we talk about your kids as our kids all year, and we kind of get those same emotions when they get ready to leave 6th grade and move on. As Mrs. Bringhurst mentioned, this class overall has just been a really neat class. We've really enjoyed them this year. One of the concerns that we've had in 6th grade and in school generally is sometimes some of the games that kids play and some of the things that they see on TV desensitize them to being empathetic towards others. And one of the things that we noticed with this particular group of children is that they are empathetic. Most of them are very empathetic toward each other. They care about each other. I've been impressed with their willingness to help. We have many assignments during the year where they have to work together in a group. And you can be proud of your students. Most of them work very well in a group. And the neat thing is that we could probably put any one of them in as the leader of a group, and they would function quite well in that position. There are some students who put a little more effort out, and so through that effort, they gain recognition. But I think as a whole, our whole class, we can recognize them as a class who cares about learning and a class who is looking forward to the future. A couple of the activities that we do during the year is incentive programs to get the kids motivated and help us keep on track. We have developed these two programs around our curriculum that we teach. The first one we do on a medieval unit that we do, and the students work at gaining points to move through the steps of this. I told my class at the beginning of the year, I said, I don't know what's lower than a peasant. I know they have worms in their fields, and I guess we can start out down there. They knew I was joking, of course, but they were all anxious to become a peasant and get out of the field. So they start out with peasant, they move up to become a king or a queen, and they move at their own rate. They get stamps on a card for their homework being done, their accomplishing the goals that we set in class. We mix a little bit of hygiene in with it too. We talk about hygiene quite a bit in 6th grade. So this is kind of an overall motivational program that we use in our classes, all 3 classes. And I would like the students in the 6th grade who made it to a king or a queen in this particular incentive program, would you please stand? The next unit that we did is a scientific unit, and they worked their way through areas. The science tied us in with some of the goals that we needed to do in the scientific field. We started with, this was to start backwards. We started with entrance, and they ended up being a Nobel Prize winner. And if you notice, we make this one a little bit tougher. They have to get a few more points each time for this one. And I would like all the students in the 6th grade who made it to the Nobel Prize party, would you please stand? I feel like that's quite an accomplishment for the kids to do that. They have to be determined, and they have to keep track. They keep track of their own records. Part of doing this too is their organizational skills. If they lose their card, they're keeping track on them. They have to start that particular level all over again. So there was some moaning and groaning, but some kids that did lose their cards once in a while ended up making them up. They worked extra hard to get them made up. So we're really proud of that. We have an art teacher that comes in and teaches the students art. And one of the projects that she did with the kids this year was to have them simulate or make a famous art piece. and they would color the background, and then they would put themselves into it, dressing the part. And it was fun to watch them make the decision of which art piece they would do. And it was interesting because I had a group of boys in my class who decided they wanted to work together on their art piece. And they chose to do a group of ballerinas. And it was really interesting because they thought it was a really cool idea at first, but as it got closer to them dressing the part and having the picture taken, they started dragging their feet quite a bit. Anyway, I would like to have that final picture, but somehow it's disappeared. I don't know where it's gone. Maybe they figured that we'd blackmail them as they got older. I don't know, but it turned out being a really fun project for all of them. I was really proud. They all turned out. It was a neat idea. One of the things that's at the speed that they're willing to work and at the level that they are capable of working at. And I can probably say that most of the students carry through with that. There are some concerns that we have about your children with homework next year. Some of them have got some really good skills for homework. Some of them are going to need some direction in that area. And you'll know it the first semester of middle school because some kids, even kids who are really on track, take a little bit of a nosedive because it's so different over there. And if your student is not used to doing homework, the best thing that you can do is help them by setting a time aside where they can do their homework. I know we have so many new things that we need to cover in 6th grade. And in pre-algebra especially, I had to laugh because I got a lot of moans and groans in pre-algebra with some of the assignments that we had to do and carry out, but I can honestly say I'm very proud of these kids. They worked really hard and I think they're really ready to go on in math. Another recognition that we'd like to give is the spelling bee. We did a school spelling bee and then the kids competed at our school level and we had a school winner. I would like all of the 6th graders that represented the 6th grade in the school spelling bee to please stand up. And Nathan, if you would please stand back up. Nathan represented our school in the district and he did a fine job. I was very proud of that. Now, we do not have a list on Records Day. I know Mr. Rogers was getting that together, but if you know you took a place, first, second, or third in one of the records, would you please stand up? Our Records Day involves the 50-yard dash, pull-ups, set-ups, running the mile, and I'm sure there's a couple that I'm leaving off there, but we try to break those records every year from records that have been set previously. We also did a fun thing at the school. We had a talent show, a school-wide talent show. It was really fun to watch the kids prepare for that. And I would like all of the students in 6th grade, whether you represented the class in the main one or you just tried out in your own class to be in the school talent show, would you please stand up? As I said before, we see the kids leave and we have mixed emotions about seeing them go on. We're happy that they're at this point in their lives and we wish them the very best. One of my very favorite sayings, and I've shared this with my class, is there are no big shots in this life. They're just little shots who keep on trying. And I know that you'll all accomplish great things if you remember and keep on trying. Thank you.
I feel like a proud parent too, a proud parent of 20 kids. I've enjoyed this year with 6th graders, and I've enjoyed my 6th graders. They joke with me that they really put me through the rung, and you know they have, but it's been fun too, and I appreciate them. There are a couple other students that we want to recognize in the 6th grade. We would like to recognize all of the 6th grade students who have participated in the student council. Will you please stand and remain standing?
the rewards, and they have been grateful to the office and to everyone at the school. So we appreciate them. We thank you, Steve. Throughout the school year, you might have had some students that come home all excited because they've been student of the day. Student of the day is a student in the class that the teacher has really just been needed in their class. This student is one that is cheerful, that has a good attitude, that is a good student, and just an all-around wonderful little person. So will all those that were students of the day please stand? We have a new program that we started in all of Provo School District. It's called the Character Count Kit, and what it is, each month we focus on an attribute that we all want in our lives. Some of these attributes might be dedication, responsible thinking, caring, a positive attitude, citizenship, and respect. Through the month, for instance, the month for respect, what the teacher does is look for a student that is really respectful and just carries that attribute through, that is always respectful to his peers, and be a good example of that attribute. Well, all of those that are character count kids, please stand. Now I'm going to say a couple of words that some of you might flinch at. World's Fair. This happened at the beginning of the year 1999. We did a major research project where each of your students would take a country and research that country. We began this in March because it was such an intense project, and the World's Fair was in May. They had about 3 months to do all of the work. It was amazing what they did. If you were able to attend the World's Fair, it was like you were walking through the world, and you were able to travel and see all the different countries. We had top 3 from each class that we did, and we ranked according to points on how many projects they were turning in and what they did and how well they did on those projects. I'm going to name the top 3 from each class, and if you would please stand. Please hold your applause until the next meeting. For my class, I had Heidi, Whitney, and Trevor. For Mrs. Brinker's class, we had Brock, Noel, and Nicolette. And for Mrs. Taylor's class, we had Makoto, Nathan, and Rosalind. They did excellent. And I want to say just a few words, just to kind of sum up some of the things that we did in the 6th grade in my lecture. It's so hard to sum up the 6th grade, but I will try. I could just start with the chant that we used to use in my classroom to get them to quiet, so it didn't always work. Well, the Yalla Yalla Hula chant. So I could start to jumble and maybe it was for my wild little students. Or we can remember turning out the lights. We all got our flashlights and read Halloween stories that we had written, and some are really scary. I don't know if they can sleep that night. And also, we can never, ever forget the squeaks, the squeals of violin coming through our door. Every afternoon, all afternoon, no matter what we were doing, we could not escape the violin. So we knew the songs before we went to violin. Also, who can always forget your favorite, my lectures. I know you'll miss them. You'll probably get a few of your own as you go through high school, but if you ever miss them, I can take you forward and send them to you. Also, you always need to beware of teachers. Teachers who wear gloves. Teachers who walk around in high heels and have loose fit. Because are they teachers or are they teaching? You decide. Also, when else can you get to throw eggs at school? We did our egg knots, and we tossed them off the roof, and some of you survived depending on your space vehicle. We had egg knots. I could go on. There's so many memories, and I remember each of you, whether you like it or not. I will remember you. And I hope that you remember something from the experience that made you a better person. Who else has a 007 Bond, James Bond, in their class? Thank you, Trevor. Or has a fashion expert, Tanya. Or has so many Spice Girl fans. I can name a lot of girls who do that. Or we have our very own rappers, Crystals. Or our drummer, Riker. Each one has been special in our lives. And I appreciate you for letting us teach them and for having such great children and students. I want to give you some advice. It's going to be short, so you can go forward.
If something happened this year that you did not like, something about yourself, then change it and make it better. Be a better person next year. Always try to be a person who does good, says good things, and sees good in others, and you'll be just fine. Thank you. This is just kind of a little plea for our parents to help us. We're still missing several books in 6th grade. If you know you have a school book at home, would you please send it back with your student tomorrow? We really, really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
We'll now have a special reading, a reading farewell, presented by Narisha Manu, Noel Moore, Tasha Aquina, Anaí Garcia, Ian Parker, Trevor Hansen, and John David Briggs.
Standing before you is Mazur's last graduating 6th grade class of the 20th century.
Some of us started our elementary years here at Mazur, and some of us joined the Mazur family along the way. But together we have become one class. Together we are the future of our city, state, country, and the world.
Through the years, we have witnessed the world around us change in many ways. Some of them have been good, some of them frightening, and others educational. For months, we all watched the hearings and sometimes disturbing reports that would eventually lead to the impeachment of President William Jefferson Clinton, only the second president to ever be impeached in American history.
The war in Kosovo also stood out in our minds. We watched as homes and towns were being bombed and thousands of men, women, and children were forced to flee their homes.
Then, in April of 1999, many of us returned home to find our parents glued to the television, watching in disbelief as the tragedy at Columbine High School in Littleton, Colorado unfolded. That was night our parents seemed to hug us just a little harder and longer.
For some of us this year, the homework was a killer, and there sure was a lot of it too, especially after the algebra thing. Our teacher says these things are all good, and that it doesn't get any easier. Great. And although we're excited about moving up to junior high, what will it be like? Making new friends, getting up earlier, and oh no, more homework.
But we've had fun this year. Formal dinner, field trips, World's Fair, and yes, tomorrow 7 Ps.
We've also had some pretty awesome teachers. Mrs. Brinkhurst, Mrs. Taylor, and Mrs. Nickel.
And they must really like us too, especially Miss Brinkhurst and Miss Nicole. Even after having their babies and being gone for almost a month, they still came back to us.
Teachers, faculty, staff, Mr. Porter, and parents, watch us. We are the future. Here before you stands future scientists, professional athletes, dancers, teachers, artists, actors, and actresses, and maybe even a governor or president.
We have so much to give the world around us. Our futures are before us, and our dreams are great, but we cannot do it alone.
Please understand us.
Be patient when we make you crazy.
And embrace us when we're scared.
Thank you to all the teachers, parents, and all those who guided us along the way.
We are the Mazur class of 1999.
Each Each year, the Kiwanis Club honors some students out of each class. They give an award called the Hope of America. And so 2 students are chosen out of each class, 1 boy and 1 girl. This award isn't going to be given today, but we are going to hear from these students who have been given this award, so you're going to know who they are today. The award is actually going to be given on Wednesday in our awards assembly, which is the last day of school. But I'm going to announce who the winners are here today, and then we're going to hear from each one of them. The winners are, and if you'd please stand as I announce your name, Vanessa Fixico, Tracy Murray, Noel Ward, Rob Alias, Heidi Haney, and Whitney Hanks. We'd like to congratulate these folks. If you folks will come down now, and you can say your piece.
I can't help but to feel a little sad for leaving this school. When I came here 2 years ago, I really didn't care for Mazer, but today I can truly say that I have learned to love the heritage and history of this building. This past year, Mazer celebrated its 100th birthday. That was special and historical. I am glad I was a part of Mazer Elementary. My message to you today, my friends and peers, is work hard, study hard, do all that is right. That will make you the winner in life. As we go to junior high, let's demonstrate integrity and pride. Let's show others that at Mazer we love to learn and explore new horizons, and that we are willing to take chances and do our very best. Don't let peer pressure change you for the worse. Always do better. Thank you, teachers, for being our friends. Thank you for your patience and love for all of us. Thank you to all of you. Also my parents for teaching me leadership and responsibility. To set a good example. Never say I can't until I try first. And please never give up.
At school, I learned and I'm looking forward to middle school and continuing my education. I am glad that I have been able to attend Mazer and meet some good friends. I want to thank my teachers for all the help that they have given me. This year, I have been serving on the student council. It was fun to help plan things for school. I think it is very important to stay in school because you learn so many neat things and you meet lots of great friends. My advice to all of my friends and all of the students here at Mazer is do your best, stay in school, and have fun. Thank you. It's been a great 7 years of elementary school, and I'm really grateful for all the teachers who made me realize how important school really is and influenced me to do my best and try my hardest. It's been fun being student body president this year, and I'd like to thank our great student body for all their support. I'd also like to thank Mr. Porter and the other teachers at Mazer for being great examples. I'd like to thank my parents and family for their support. I hope I can go on to junior high and be a good example of what Mazer is all about.
If you want to get this award, you need to be good in class, don't do things you will regret, and treat everyone alike. Future 6th graders, get a lot of friends, and try to make good friends who will try and help you make the right choices. Also obey the rules. Don't do anything bad like steal from the other kids or treat little kids like they're nothing. Try to be their friends. Who knows, maybe they'll be a lot of fun.
To give the Hope of America award. I believe that each student here at Mazer Elementary is the Hope of America because we are all the leaders of tomorrow. I am grateful that I have been part of Mazer Elementary's 100-year heritage of quality education for the past 10 years. I want to thank all the wonderful teachers who have taught me so very much. I especially want to thank and have learned a lot from all these activities and these great teachers. We also have a great administration and staff there. I have really enjoyed and benefited from all the reading programs over the years. I love to read and one of my favorite books is The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. We have been helped so much by our teachers and staff. The best thing you can give them is to continue learning and be the best we can be. Thank you. I've been going to Mesa since first grade. I look forward to being in sixth grade. I thought it was going to be hard, and in some ways it was fun. It was good to accomplish all the things we did this year. In math, reading, social studies, one suggestion for the next year's class is study, pay attention, and once you go to junior high, you'll really need it. I'm really glad I went to Mesa, and I like all the teachers here.
Okay, we'll now have a song sung by Rachel Cutler. students that you see here, and some of them have referred to this already, have had other teachers. And we would just like to acknowledge those other teachers, especially the ones that are here today. We have Mrs. Cornfield, Mrs. Marble, Mr. Rogers, Mrs. Canlin, Ms. Purnell. Did I miss anyone? And then there were the lower grade teachers. These teachers have all had an impact in these students' lives, and we just appreciate them very much. We did have, I wanted to mention one other person or people. There's another set of people that have had a big impact on these students' lives, and that's parents. They have had a big impact. So, 6th grade students, did you acknowledge your parents? Okay, I'd just like to conclude now with some remarks, and then we'll have the handing out of the diplomas. I would just like to admonish the 6th grade students to do 3 things. And they've heard me preach before, I guess. This is talk number 89, okay, for those of you who are wondering. But I would like to mention 3 things. First one is, find your niche. Okay, find your niche. You're going to have a few years here in which you can explore. You don't have to make up your mind about doing or becoming. You can explore and find out. And one thing that I've learned over the years is that every student has a niche. They have something that they're good at. They have something that they enjoy. Just to share a quick story with you. One time there was a student that we thought, a fellow teacher and I thought, had no talent whatsoever. He was mentally retarded and just couldn't make it go and couldn't do anything. He couldn't do athletics, he couldn't do much in the way of schoolwork, and we thought, this person just doesn't have any talent at all. There's no niche for this person. Years have a way of teaching you things. This other teacher who I worked with, years later, one day was trying to start his lawnmower and it wouldn't start, and he worked on it, he worked on it, he worked on it, it wouldn't start. Finally, after hours of working on it, he took the lawnmower to the repair shop. And guess who was at the counter? It was this boy. You know what? He had that lawnmower running in about 20 minutes. He found his niche. Where my fellow teacher could not get that lawnmower running, this boy did. You all have a niche. I would encourage you to find it. Explore the different things that are offered for you in junior high. Become involved in band if you want to, in chorus and singing and drama, and playing music, in exploring science. Great opportunities at the junior high. The second thing I'd like to ask you to do is to put forth an effort. Once you find out what your niche is, what your talent is, what your interest is, then you have to put forth an effort to make it become a reality. Okay? There's a saying that has 10 2-letter words in it that I really like. 10, because I believe it's really true, and it's something that you can remember. These 10 words are, if it is to be, it is up to me. If it is to be, it is up to me. When you find your dream, when you find your niche, if you're going to be successful at it, it's going to be up to you. And nothing worthwhile is gotten for free. You have to work at it. You have to pay a price. There's a price to be paid for everything worthwhile. If it is to be, it is up to me. There's another little saying that I like. It goes right along with this. And it has 8 words in it, and they all start with W. 8 words, they all start with W. It's like this. Work will win. when wishy-washy wishing won't. Work will win when wishy-washy wishing won't. Can you guys say that with me? Work will win when wishy-washy wishing won't. And that is absolutely true. When you find your niche, work at it, okay? And finally, my last point, watch out for alligators. Okay? Watch out for alligators. Let me tell you a little story. There was a young man that went to a game preserve in Africa, and the guide who was showing him around said, "You need to be careful of these mud holes."
Come on, get off.
He says, "Sometimes there's alligators in those mud holes." And the young man looked at it and he couldn't see any alligators. And so a little bit later in the day, the guide wasn't looking, and this young man walked right over to one of these mud holes. And an alligator jumped up out of the mud. He'd been hidden down in the mud, and grabbed hold of him and killed him. There are alligators out there. There are dangers, yes. And when you have your dream, you're working to make it come true, watch out for alligators, okay? What are some of the alligators? I think some of you guys know. Drugs, tobacco, alcohol, that's definitely an alligator. You might not even know that it's there, but participating in that can wipe your dreams right out, okay? And there's others out there. I don't even think that you know what some of those dangers are. And as I think back to this story, this young man who was watching out for alligators, the one thing that he should have done was listen to the guide. Someone who knew, someone who had seen and knew. You guys have some guides. I'm encouraging you to explore. When you're exploring, don't forget to listen to the guides. Who are your guides? Teachers, mom and dad, okay, counselor, a religious leader. As you're exploring, don't forget to listen to the guides. So that's what I admonish you today. Find your niche, work at it, and watch out for alligators, okay? Listen to your guides, okay? We appreciate the 6th grade students. They've been a great group to work with.
As I read your name, you can come forward and get your diploma. Sam Jebson. Adam Mitchell. Jeremy Peterson. John David Briggs. Rock Alias. Pino. Jason Murray.
Stephanie Wheeler. Tiffany Scott. Whitney Hayes. Adeline Swan. Lupe Hernandez. Abby Shelton. Sarah Willer. Lindsay Masterson. Hamani Boyd. Ruben Ramos. Jared Beltran. Riker Pardue. Jonathan Preseno. Preston Griffin. Manu, Nicolette Chadwick, Jory Taylor, Kristen Jensen, Heidi Haney, Angelica Swan, Ambrosia Bell, Macy Swap,
Yeah, Macy.
Tasha Akina, Vanessa Fixico, and Noelle Orr.
Okay, one last performance here. It's the custom that after you've graduated, and oh, by the way, let me say, you're graduating, but we still have school tomorrow and the next day, okay? We want you to come. We're gonna have lots of fun. One last formality. Custom is that you change the tassel from the right to the left. Could you do that now, please? Parents, I present to you the graduates of Mazer Elementary. We'll now dismiss the fourth and
This is Camies' classroom.
Yeah.
Hey, Micah.
Hi.
Big.
Hello.
You guys.
Hello.
My mom's gonna be seeing this. She's gonna kill me.
Going under, going under, going under. I did it, not her. Holy crap.
My mom's gonna kill me.
That's it. Out of my face.
This is Camies' teacher, Miss Nickel. And this is her wonderful classroom.
In my classroom.
There goes Camies' crush of the year.
And share because twice.
And obviously he's good with the girls. Camies kissed him.
I'm proud of it.
Who's Cammy?
She kissed me 3 times, and she kissed me twice.